Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Harika. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can create records. In the previous video we have seen, but it was just limited to the fields of types, text and integer. So now in this video, I'm going to show you something which is really very important. So let's say if there is a scenario where we have multiple entities, so each entity is related to another entity with the help of a field data type called relationship, which we have seen earlier in the previous videos. So to provide you a glance about it of what exactly we're going to do in this video, let me show you this one. So basically we have two different entities here. The first one I'm going to pick is employee details and the second one is project names. So firstly, let's go to project names. If you see here under the fields, I have name of the project, which is user defined and it is of type text. And I have some data inside it, which is the name of the project field. Okay, UiPath, AA, BP, Pega, RPA, and COFAX. Okay, so here I have a one entity which is project names, and inside that my field is name of the project and the type of the field is text. Okay, this name of the project is related to employee details with the help of current project. Okay, so if you just go over here, you can see current project is a field that is it is in relationship with project names and name of the project. Okay, under project names entity, name of the project is a field. So this field and current project field in the employee details, these both are in relationship. So let me write it over here for you. Right, this is one entity. Let's say this is entity 1 and this is entity 2. Entity 2. Okay, so this is entity 1 and then entity 2. So these both entities have a fields called name of the project and current project. So these both are in relationship. So let's see how we can assign the values to this particular field and also this particular field in the different entity, and how we can create that in the data service. Okay, so to get into that, first of all, let me go to the studio. So before to that, I'll show you. Here we don't have any data, and I have shown you what is the data that is there in the projects. So here we all know how we can get the project entities from the manage entities to our studio. So if you are not familiar with this, please do watch the previous videos of this playlist and you'll have a better understanding of what this whole video is about. Okay, so so I'm going to pull this into my variables, project names, first one, and the second one is employee details. So these both are my entities, right? So what I'm going to do, project name, and the second one is employee details. Okay, details. Fine. So these both are the variables that I've created. So what is the first and the foremost rule to use those variables in my project? So firstly, I have to initialize them. Okay, so let me take a multiple assign. I'm taking a multiple assign. And firstly, let me initialize. So let's say I'm going to create an argument, which is out project name, and I'm initializing. We all know how to initialize from the previous videos, right? New project. What is the name that I have provided to my variable? Project name, capital P. Okay. Okay, this is of this variable type. Okay, so here if you see, it is showing me an error, right? So why is this? Because Let me go over here and change this type string to the type project names. Okay, so this is resolved. And next, add one more argument. You can just give this variable name as well, this also, because we have created, which is of the type employee details, right? So just giving that name and new employee details, right? Perfect. So we don't need this argument variable, because we have created an argument, or else to have it a symmetry between them, let me delete this and let's have a variable, because we are using it in a same workflow, we are not taking it out, right? So let me copy this thing and paste over here. So it's just initialization. If you're not familiar with this, please watch the previous videos, which we have clearly explained why we are doing so and how we can create this. Okay, so this much is done. So after this, what I'm going to do, there are two different ways that we can actually create the data or create the records using the relationship field type. Okay, so the first one I would show you, which is something which is very basic. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a project name. So project name dot name of the project is the field name, right? So it's of the type text. So under this particular project, I'm going to provide in the value, which is UiPath, or let's say some, okay, UiPath basic project. Okay, let's provide this name. So as I've already shown you, this is of type text, right? This is of type text, so it doesn't show any error while accepting this information. So what I'm going to do here, firstly, I'm going to create a entity record. Okay, so for that, we all know that I have to take project names, and what is the input? Project name, and whatever the output that is coming from this field, I am going to use that in order to create the next entity, which is in relationship with this. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do here, I will be creating a variable of output project. Fine. And now I will create one more entity record for employee details, right? So before to that, let me take a multiple assign, because I have to assign the values, right? So what is there in employee details? Employee details dot employee name, what is the field name? It is having employee details dot employee name, and what is the name that you have to provide in? Okay, it should be a string, because we are following the or whatever the field that you're providing, make sure it's a match. So if it's not a match, then definitely it will throw an error. Okay, so let's say if I'm saying employee details dot current employee. Okay, so if you see here, current employee, let's go to our data service here. If you just observe under employee details, date, okay, fields in here, if you just observe, it's of type yes or no. That means it's of type boolean, right? So if you provide here yes, it will show an error, because string cannot be converted into boolean. So what you have to do here, you have to provide a boolean value. So always whatever the values that are providing against a particular field, make sure that is in synchronization with your field that's there on the data service. Okay, so like that, if you see employed from, it's of a type date, right? So let me go over here and provide in that field as well. Employee details dot current employed from, right? Employed from. So if you see here, I have to provide a value which is of type date time. Okay, so date time dot parse, whatever the value that you provides in here will go into that particular value. Okay, so you have to match the syntax as well. So it should be of type string. Okay, let me take this value like this. So this is it, and the main thing that I'm going to show here is of type relationship. So for relationship, I wanted to get the value from project name, right? So how can I do that? Dot current project. Okay, so here I'm going to pass in the values of output project. So if you just see here, whatever the values that I'm giving here, the same would be these both should be of the same type, right? So this is of the type project names, so that value should go in here. And we have given the relationship tag. Relationship means they both are in sync, so that's why this will accept without any confusion, right? So that's it. And after this, the employee details contains all the information, so I'm going to pass the employee details, and this should also be of the same type. Let's pass employee details as we are not looking at the output currently. Okay, so let me take a log message and provide it here and say added values. Done. Let's now see how this project workflow will actually execute by debugging and step by step. Okay, I'm executing the workflow. The process has started execution. Okay. Now we are here, right? So the first entity got created, which is UiPath basic project, right? So if I go to my projects, entity, project names, I think my internet is very slow. Okay, it's getting loaded. Okay, fine. We got project names here, and the under data, we should see along with all the projects that I have earlier, we should also see UiPath basic project. I'm not sure what's wrong with my internet. Okay, cool. We've got created at 5:45, right? So this is perfect. And now what I'm doing exactly here, after creating the entity, I'm assigning all the values, and whatever the project that I'm getting, I'm creating it actually. Whatever the project that I'm creating, I'm using that particular value into my current project. Okay, so for that, what I'm doing after assigning everything, I'm creating the entity. So let's go into the employee details. Okay, and here under data we can see there should not be any information at the moment. Let it get open completely. Once after I verify that there's no information, I'm going to run the workflow and we can check. What's wrong with this? Okay, it's taking longer time. Let me refresh this again and see if it gets loaded any soon. Go to data service. Cool, data. There's no data. Perfect. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just trying to do the step in that should create the data for me, right? And then that's it. Added values. So just come here, refresh. Yes, perfect. So we've got whatever the fields that I have added, we've got all the fields over here, UiPath basic project, right? So, and this field we haven't added employee ID, is just the integer that we just have to convert that into a decimal and just add it over here. That's not a big thing. Okay, so this is how we can actually add. But if you see, this is kind of values which we can create. Right now what I'm doing exactly, I have created the entity and I'm taking the value, and I'm just creating the next entity which is in relationship with it. So let's say if you have multiple values or which are coming from a data table or something, then you can take the value at that point of time and you can just loop it through that. But there is also another way of doing it, in case if you wanted to do a bulk upload, or how you can create a record which is for the field of relationship type. So in that case, how you can do exactly, I'll show it in the next video. That is just another way. Based on your requirement, you can either opt either of the ways. So I hope this video is useful, and if you find any other way, do let me know in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching. If you wanted to understand all the concepts of the data service, try to watch the videos from the beginning. So this is almost the fifth tutorial. So I would suggest you don't miss the basics. That would give you a good understanding of what data service is and how you can use that in your projects. So to not miss any of my videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.